Ever wonder why a plumber charges you $250 just to jiggle a handle and swap a little rubber flapper? You're not alone, and I'll tell you, most of those repair bills are about 3 times what the job is actually worth. After 3 decades in the trade, I've watched homeowners hand over small fortunes for work they could have done themselves in under an hour. Today, I'm walking you through 10 plumbing repairs you're overpaying for and showing you exactly how to handle every single one. Number 9 is one that intimidates almost everybody, but it's simpler than you think. And stick around for the bonus tip at the end. The first repair on our list is a running toilet, and this is the one that probably costs homeowners more wasted money than any other single call. A plumber walks in, looks in the tank for about 30 seconds, and swaps out a flapper or adjusts a chain. That'll run you $150 to $300 depending on where you live. Here's the thing. That flapper costs about $5 at any hardware store, and replacing it takes maybe 10 minutes. Lift the lid off the tank. Look at the rubber flapper sitting over the drain at the bottom. If it's warped, cracked, or coated in mineral buildup, that's your problem. Shut off the water at the valve behind the toilet. Flush to drain the tank, and unhook the old flapper from the overflow tube ears. Hook the new one on, reconnect the chain so there's about a ½ inch of slack, and turn the water back on. That's it. You just saved yourself $200 in a week of listening to that phantom flush at 3 in the morning. The second repair that'll save you real money is a dripping faucet fix. That steady drip, drip, drip isn't just annoying. It's running up your water bill every single day. Most plumbers charge $125 to $275 for this. But the fix is almost always a worn cartridge or a little rubber washer that costs a few dollars. For a single handle faucet, shut off both supply valves underneath the sink. Pop off the decorative cap on the handle, remove the screw underneath, and pull the handle off. You'll see the cartridge sitting right there. Pull it out, take it to the hardware store so you get the exact match, and press the new one in. For an older 2-handle faucet, you're usually looking at a seat washer on the stem. Same idea. Take it apart, replace the worn piece, put it back together. The key is taking your time and laying the parts out in order so they go back exactly how they came off. The third repair you're overpaying for is a kitchen sink drain clog, and this one really gets under my skin. I've seen plumbers charge $150 to $350 to clear a kitchen drain that was plugged up right in the P-trap. That's the curved pipe directly under your sink. 9 times out of 10, that's where the clog lives. Put a bucket underneath, unscrew the slip nuts on both ends of the P-trap by hand, or with a pair of channel locks, and let it drop into the bucket. Clean out whatever's in there, and I promise you it won't be pretty, but it'll be satisfying. Rinse the trap, reconnect it, and run the water. If the clog is deeper than the trap, a simple hand crank drain auger, sometimes called a drain snake, will handle it. Those run about $15 to $20, and you'll use it again. No need to call anyone for this one. By the way, if you're finding this advice helpful, do me a small favor and hit that subscribe button down below. I put out new videos like this one every week, walking you through repairs that'll save you a small fortune in plumber bills. Subscribing is free, and it's the best way to make sure you don't miss the next one. All right, let's continue. The fourth repair on our list is replacing a sink shutoff valve, and this is one where plumbers really make their money, because most homeowners don't even know what a shutoff valve is until it fails. Those are the little oval-handled valves under your sink or toilet that control the water supply. When they start dripping or won't turn anymore, a plumber charges $150 to $300. But if you've got a compression-style valve, and most homes do, this is a 20-minute job. Shut off the main water supply to the house. Open the faucet to drain residual pressure. Use an adjustable wrench to loosen the compression nut on the old valve. Slide it off and slide the new one on. Tighten the compression nut snug, then give it a quarter turn past hand tight. Turn the main water back on slowly and check for drips. If you see a weep at the fitting, snug it just a hair more. Don't go gorilla on it, or you'll crack the compression ring. That little ring is called a ferrule, and if it's damaged, you'll want to replace that too. They cost about 50 cents. The fifth repair that costs way more than it should is replacing a leaking supply line. These are the flexible lines that connect your shut-off valves to your faucet or toilet. When they start dripping at the connections or you notice a bulge in an older rubber line, it's time. A plumber charges $125 to $250, but braided stainless steel supply lines cost $8 to $15 each, and they're designed to be hand-tightened. Shut off the valve, put a towel down, disconnect the old line, and thread the new one on. Hand tight, then a quarter turn with channel locks. That's it. I'll tell you, this is genuinely a 5-minute repair. The only thing you need to get right is the length and the fitting size. Measure the old one before you go to the store and check whether you need 3/8 inch or 1/2 inch compression fittings on each end. Bring the old line with you if you're not sure. The sixth repair on this list is replacing a toilet fill valve, and this is one that gets bundled into expensive quotes all the time. A plumber might tell you the whole toilet needs to be rebuilt and charge $200 or more, when really all you need is a new fill valve. That's the tall piece on the left side of the tank that controls the water flowing in after a flush. A universal fill valve costs $8 to $15. Shut off the water, flush, and sponge out the remaining water in the tank. Disconnect the supply line from the bottom. Unscrew the lock nut underneath the tank and pull the old valve out. Drop the new one in, adjust the height so it sits about an inch below the top of the overflow tube. Tighten the lock nut from below, reconnect the supply line, and turn the water on. The whole job is maybe 15 minutes once you've done it the first time. Now listen, the seventh repair you're throwing money away on is swapping a shower head. I almost didn't include this one because it's so simple it barely qualifies as a repair. But I've talked to enough people who've paid a plumber $100 to $200 for this that it earned its spot. A shower head threads on and off. That's it. Wrap the pipe threads with 4 or 5 wraps of Teflon tape going clockwise. Thread the new head on by hand and snug it a quarter turn with channel locks. Use a rag between the jaws and the chrome so you don't scratch the finish. Total time, about 3 minutes. The shower head itself might cost $20 to $60 depending on what you want, but the labor should cost you nothing. The eighth repair on our list is fixing a garbage disposal jam, and this one is almost embarrassing how easy it is. When your disposal hums but won't spin, something is stuck between the grinding plate and the wall. Do not put your hand in there. Every disposal comes with a spot on the bottom for a 1/4 inch Allen wrench, also called a hex key. Insert it into that socket on the bottom of the unit and crank it back and forth. You're manually rotating the grinding plate to free whatever is jammed. Once it moves freely, hit the small red reset button on the bottom of the unit and flip the switch. Done. No parts to buy, no tools to buy if you've got a basic Allen wrench set, and absolutely no reason to pay someone $150 or more for this. Between you and me, this is the single most overcharged repair in all of residential plumbing. The ninth repair that scares people into calling a pro is replacing a wax ring on a toilet. When you see water seeping around the base of the toilet, especially when you flush, that wax ring between the toilet and the floor flange has failed. Plumbers charge $200 to $400 for this. The wax ring costs about $5. Here's the thing. The job isn't hard, it's just a little heavy. Shut off the water and flush to empty the tank. Disconnect the supply line. Pop the caps off the floor bolts and unscrew the nuts. Now you're going to lift the toilet straight up and set it on its side on an old towel or piece of cardboard. Scrape off the old wax from both the bottom of the toilet and the floor flange. Press the new wax ring onto the flange, making sure it's centered over the opening. Carefully lower the toilet back down, lining up the bolt holes, and press it firmly to seat the wax. Tighten the bolts alternately, left side then right side, snug but not so tight you crack the porcelain. Reconnect the supply line and test with a few flushes. Take your time on this one, and if your knees aren't great, get someone to help with the lifting. The toilet itself is the heaviest part of the job, not the skill. The 10th and final repair you're overpaying for is resealing a tub drain. When water starts leaking through the ceiling below your bathroom, the tub drain seal is one of the first things to check. A plumber charges $150 to $300 for this, but the fix involves plumber's putty and a drain wrench, also called a tub drain extractor, which costs about $10 to $15. Unscrew the drain fitting from inside the tub using the drain wrench. It turns counterclockwise. Clean off the old putty from both the drain hole and the fitting. Roll a rope of fresh plumber's putty about the thickness of a pencil and press it around the underside of the drain flange. Thread the drain back in, tighten it snug, and wipe away the putty that squeezes out. The seal is what keeps water from sneaking past the drain and down into your subfloor. I've seen this 1,000 times, and it's almost always the putty that failed, not the drain itself. A $15 fix that saves you a $300 service call and potentially thousands in water damage. All right, now for the bonus tip I've been holding on to. Before you start any of these repairs, do yourself a favor and find your main water shutoff valve. I mean right now, before there's ever an emergency. In most homes, it's in the basement or crawl space, near where the water line enters the house. Sometimes it's in a utility closet or near the water heater. Know where it is, make sure it turns, and if it's a gate valve that's stiff or corroded, plan to replace it with a quarter-turn ball valve when you get the chance. I've walked into houses where the homeowner had water spraying everywhere and had no idea where to shut it off. That 10 seconds of panic can turn a $50 repair into a $5,000 insurance claim. Know your shutoff. Test it once a year. And while you're at it, tag it with a little label so anyone in the house can find it. That's how my Uncle Ray taught me, and that's how I'm teaching you. Before you go, if you got something out of this video, do me one last favor and hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every week covering real-world plumbing repairs, money-saving tips, and the kind of know-how that takes years to pick up on the job. Subscribing costs you nothing, and it makes sure these videos show up in your feed when you need them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.